morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Lausitzring for day 2 of round 5 of the ADAC Formula 4 Germany. Their championship is getting to the business end. It is the penultimate round. There are now only 2 drivers in the running for the ADAC Formula 4 Championship title. The driver that's leading the championship, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, is not here this weekend. So this is a great opportunity for second place Taylor Barnard to make hay while the sun shines. And that's what we're pleased to say is happening today. The sun has come through after the water and rain and mist of yesterday. And Taylor Barnard is getting that assault on the championship title off to the best possible start by starting this race on pole position. So, to remind you, Antonelli is not here, but he does lead the championship by 84 points. That is a massive amount to be leading the championship by. There are a potential 50 points remaining on the table just this weekend. Taylor Barnard really needs a couple of first places because that man there, who's just on your screen, Nikita Bedrin, beat him off the line yesterday, taking the top step of the podium, and Taylor Barnard had to settle for second place, and that 7 points difference between first and second may make all the difference when this season comes to a close. It is the penultimate round here at the Lausitzring. We have one more left in October. That is at the Nürburgring, where the new champion for the ADAC Formula 4 Germany will be crowned. But our focus is on the first of 2 races here today here at the Lausitzring. Race 1, which we are just starting the formation lap for now, and then race 2, which takes place this afternoon at 25 minutes to 4 local time. And the top 8 finishers from this race will determine the grid for race 3, but those 8 places will be reversed. So whoever finishes in 8th place will start race 3 of the weekend on pole position. As already mentioned, the rain appears to be gone and there is none forecast. As is also mentioned, Kimi Antonelli leads by 84 points from Taylor Barnard. There are still 125 points available this season, but with Kamara Larson not here this weekend and Nikita Bedrin now out of the running mathematically as well, it is down to just Taylor Barnard to reel in Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and wherever Andrea is watching this from, he will be looking to see whether he still can hold on to that lead. Here is the grid. It's Taylor Barnard on pole position with Kasper Stuker alongside. Nikita Bedrin is 3rd on the grid with Rasmus Simmies alongside. He's looking for the rookie title. Zach David, we welcome him, and Valentine on row 3. And Jonas and Ricky Lee on row 4 of the grid, another debutant. Now David Birnbachdi is alongside Mikhail Sauter on row 5, and on row 6 it's Samir Ben on his own. It is a small field, but size isn't everything. It is quality, not quantity, and these drivers provide some great racing. We mentioned Zach David. He is a Filipino driver based in Malta, just turned 15 years old. He's part of the Sauber karting team, a driver with a great future ahead of him, and we welcome him to the grid for his debut this weekend, as indeed we do Ricky Lee, who is a Chinese driver who's also come from karting, and if he's signed up for Us Racing, he must be pretty reasonable because Us Racing are very good at spotting the talent. As you can see, cars have completed their formation lap. It will be 30 minutes of racing. It's a timed race, and the cars are now a bit of heat into the tyres, not a great deal. Temperature here, 18.6 degrees centigrade. So not exactly tropical, which is what it has been all week long. But of course, this week starts and suddenly it's been raining. But it's dry now. We have indication that all is good. The green lights come on, the red lights are off, and away we go for race 14 of an 18-race season. This time, Taylor Barnard is not caught napping. He leads into turn 1, taking a very wide line as he sweeps across and down that tricky little section. It's a bit of a pinch point on this circuit, and it's Nikita Bedrin, his teammate, who slots into second place. Now, yesterday, we saw Nikita Bedrin really mastering these conditions and disappearing off into the distance. And that's exactly what Taylor Barnard doesn't need to happen today, because he needs every single point that he can get if he is to catch the Andrea Kimi Antonelli for the top of the championship standings. He's not going to get to the top today, of course, because there aren't enough points available. But if he can max out today and get a good score at the Nürburgring next time around, he could still win this title of the ADAC Formula 4 Germany. The rest of the field coming through now, and they've all made it through the first few corners. It's Taylor Barnard who leads from Nikita Bedroom and Kasper Stuka. Rasmus Utsimi's in 4th place, Jonas Reed, Valentine Kloos, another driver who's just turned 15 this year at the end of May and is old enough to join the field, another driver who is one of the real superstars that are coming up through, and many of the senior drivers will be looking over their shoulders at some of this talent that is coming through the ADAC Formula 4 Germany at the moment. Of course, Valentine Kloos is one of 2 German drivers in this series. It is a series that attracts talent from across the world, not more so than Taylor Barnard from the UK, who currently leads the way in this race from Nikita Bedrin, the driver who is registered Italian this year. And in 3rd place, Kasper Stuka from Poland. So we are at the Lausitzring. We're using the short course. It is a circuit that is 3.478 kilometres around, as we look again at the start of this race. And there was a driver who did not get away at all at the start. And fortunate that nobody collected him, but was all good. And finally gets the thing rolling, gets off the grid, and it looks like no harm done, albeit losing a load of places. So the rest of the field make it into turn 1. A great start from Taylor Barnard, and not the problems that he had yesterday when he was completely mugged off the line by Nikita Bedrin. Finally, the car that didn't get away gets rolling and joins the back of the pack. You can see the track is still greasy, and it still has the ability to bite and catch these drivers out. I was telling you that it was 3.478 kilometres around. It is also 12 turns, 7 to the left and 5 to the right. It's one of the shortest tracks that these cars visit. The best overtaking opportunity is what you see at the top of your screen there, at the end of the pit straight into turn 1. The drivers can pick up a slipstream under braking into turn 1, into the little downhill section, and try and make a move there. The rest of the cars, not much challenging going on at the moment, but this can all change very, very quickly. And to remind you, the top 8 at the moment, the reverse of that will form the grid for the second race this afternoon. So Michael Sauter may well be wanting to stay in that 8th position. It was Nan David Birenbakti who's moving forwards. Behind him, Ricky Lee and Zach David, 2 of the newcomers into this formula. Barnard currently leading by 1.578 seconds from his teammate Nikita Bedrin. Kasper Stuka in 3rd place, there he is there, and just before him Rasmus Utsimi's. Now Rasmus Utsimi's is closing in on the title of rookie champion, because the current rookie championship leader is Rafael Camara, another of the drivers who is not here this weekend. And Rasmus Utsimi's is about just over 30 points behind, so he has great opportunity to close in on the rookie title and potentially take the lead of it by the end of race 3 today. Here's Michael Sauter making a challenge on Samir Ben. So Sauter through now into 7th place. So that theory about him holding on for pole in the reverse grid race, well, it shows what I know, doesn't it? Racing drivers are trained to go forwards and pick up every point possible. And Michael Sauter, a driver who continues to improve every time you see him, an independent driver, and he is part of a father and son team. His father, Stefan, should I say, owns the team. And his great-grandfather, Kurt, also raced. He raced sports cars. So Michael Sauter has it in the genes, as they say. And I remember when we saw him last year, he was on a very steep learning curve, but he has learnt, and he is one of the real talents, and it's been so exciting to watch his progress as he works his way up through the pack in many races. Michael Sauter in the number 21 car Currently in 7th place, ahead of Samir Ben, the number 25 car there of Samir Ben, the Swiss driver for Genza Motorsport. So the car's using part of the tri-oval, and you can see the pit straight there, the big wide pit straight, a very unforgiving wall at the side of it. Drivers have to be very careful in these conditions because there is a dry line and a definite dryness appearing around the circuit. There are still some wet patches, and if the drivers get onto those or get onto the dirt or onto the grass, what's left of it after the heat wave that's been here, then it gets very slippery and it can catch these drivers out and they can end up in a gravel trap. Or worse still, in the wall. Taylor Barnard extending his legs at the front. 1.862 is the gap, and it's an almost identical gap back to Kasper Stuka as well, and 1.86 seconds. So fairly evenly spaced on the 1, 2, 3, but still plenty going on further behind. You see Valentine in the background closing in on Jonas Reed. So the two German drivers are likely to be challenging each other before too long, and in front of them, Rasmus Utsimies, who needs all the points that he can get as he fights for that title of rookie champion. Out onto the wide banked corner once again and onto the pit straight. The drivers using two sections of the big tri-oval here at the Lausitzring. And that's out of turn 12 towards turn 1, where we're looking at here, and then back onto the tri-oval on the exit of turn 5, and then off it again at turn 6. And a fairly windy section in the middle. Not a lot of overtaking opportunities during this little windy section. It's mainly on and off the tri-oval that creates the best opportunities, and particularly turns 11, 12 and turn 1. So, oh dear, Mikael Sauter, having picked him up, said how well he's doing. He's dropped the car. It's into the gravel trap, and that looks like it's going nowhere. And that is such a shame. So Mikael Sauter is stranded. That is almost certainly going to get us a safety car, because he is not going to go anywhere quickly, and he has made fairly heavy contact with the barrier as well. So the Sauter team can have a bit of work to do to ready that car in time for race 3. That is such a shame. So Mikael Sauter stranded. Here comes the aforementioned safety car, and we did say this track had the potential to bite, and that's exactly what's happened. Just peering out to see what part of the track that Mikael Sauter is in. I think it's out somewhere near turn 6. So the safety car is out, and that big lead that Taylor Barnard had built up, which, by the way, had grown to 2.479 seconds. So Barnard had done all the right things. So that will now be whittled away to nothing. And he will have Nikita Bedrin on his rear wing when we go back to green flag racing. And I have to tell you, Nikita Bedrin does not settle for second. A real entertainer, and he will fight, and he will have his eyes on the top step. So Taylor Barnard, his best laid plans are suddenly put on hold as the race is also put on hold. Let's have a look again. Let's see if we can see what happened. That's Valentine having a bit of a wobble. And at this point, Sauter has already lost it. He's going backwards across the grass. And the moment you're onto the grass, you're a passenger, and you've just got to hold on and hope you don't hit anything. And he has made contact with that barrier. We've got a few hours between this and the next race, so hopefully the team, led by his father, Team Sauter Engineering and Design, can get that car back together, and he will be out for that third race. But certainly his race 2 is done and dusted. He looks on. It really is a steep learning curve, but it is great to see the little independent teams alongside the big teams, and it's great that we have PHM and Us Racing, and we often have Prema and Van Amersfoort, but you also need these little independent teams as well, and they do it the hard way. They do it without the big budget, and every penny counts. And the Sauter team have been a real inspiration over the last couple of years. Mikael Sauter had a massive accident at Sachsenring last year, And it was lovely to see the rest of the teams gathering around to rebuild the car with Stefan Sauter lending parts, lending talent. And it's great when they gather around and support the independent teams, the small teams. The car has been removed, so we're expecting notification that the safety car will be in very shortly. The car's just weaving to keep heat into the temperature, heat into the tyres, keep temperature into the tyres. Got there in the end. Behind the safety car, but very shortly the lights will go off on the safety car and Taylor Barnard will become the effective safety car of this race. He will be controlling the pace and it will be his decision when to go. Nikita Bedrin will attempt to anticipate that and will attempt to jump in. Right, safety car will be in on this lap, so those lights will go off very shortly. We look in at Ron Dobmeyer, who drives the safety car. He is a fireman in his part-time, well, this is his part-time job, really. His full-time job is he's a fireman. There you go, didn't you know that? And does a great job, often very busy on an ADAC weekend. And he, along with, I can't tell you the name of his assistant, I'm afraid, I'm really sorry. But Ron Dobmeyer, get there in the end. We thank you for your hard work driving the safety car for the ADAC. The lights are off. The safety car now pulls away from the rest of the pack. Taylor Barnard backing the pack up, keeping the heat in the tyres. He wants to trick his teammate Nikita Bedrin into thinking that he's still weaving, when in fact he's about to hit the accelerator. Bedrin's having none of it. He's there. He's monstering Barnard. Of course, he cannot overtake until they cross the line, but he is having none of it, and he is there on the back bumper. Barnard goes, no, I'm not going yet. I'm still warming my tyres. Honest, mate. And now he hits the accelerator. The gap opens up, but Nikita Bedrin, well, we knew he was going to anticipate that well, didn't we? Along the pit straight they come, and this is the best opportunity that Bedrin has had and probably will have to get the lead of this race. The rest of the cars fan out along the pit straight. See that Bedrin just locking up a wheel into turn one, not the quickest way around there, and that has dropped him back slightly. So Taylor Barnard gets a little bit of a reprieve and opens up the gap at the front. Some great racing further back. The remaining 10 cars all fighting for position, being careful not to make contact with each other. It's Taylor Barnard leading Nikita Bedrin, Kasper Stuka in third ahead of Rasmus Utsimi's, Jonas Reed, Valentine Klus, Nandavid Birnbachti, Samir Ben, Zach David, and Ricky Lee, who rounds out the top 10. And you can see all the cars there pretty well in the same shot. And you can see that Taylor Barnard has opened up a good gap. Valentine Klus just taking a little look on the inside of Jonas Reed. And ahead of them is Rasmus Utsimi's. We're approaching the halfway point of the race, 30 minutes total. So when the clock strikes 0, that will be the end of the race. Well, to the end of that lap anyway. And Taylor Barnard now working hard to rebuild that gap that he had before the safety car came out. The driver's still tiptoeing around some of the damp spots here at the Lausitzring. We're on the short course, and you can hear just squealing tyres into turn one. Quite a steep drop, that is, more than you can appreciate looking at a TV screen. And if you get offline and get a wheel onto the dirt, it really is a big problem, because we've seen many cars coming to grief on that corner. We saw Samir Ben just doing a little bit of a slide as he came out of the corner, but he keeps it pointing in the right direction. Now, Valentine Klus is the driver that looks most likely to make a challenge here. The two PHM drivers running with each other. It's Jonas Reed who's in front of him. Of course, PHM, who came from the ashes of Muka Motorsport. A very talented team with talented drivers. Still Jonas Reed holding on to that 5th position. Valentine Klus holding on to the spot behind at the moment, 6th place, but looking to improve. Nandavid Birnbachti has found a route past Samir Ben, and Zach David has also moved up into 9th place. So still fighting for positions all along the track. As they cross the line, let's see how much of a gap Barnard has built. That is 1.479 seconds. So Barnard continuing the progress that he was making in the first half of this race. We are in the second half now. Nikita Bedrin is still tracking every move of Taylor Barnard, but clearly doesn't have anything that he can bring to the table at the moment. Of course, it's not just all about going hell for leather for half an hour. These drivers need to look after the tyres, look after the brakes, because it's the second part of the race that counts, because that's when the points are paid out. Continuing to look at Kasper Stuka, who closes in on Nikita Bedrin. So this is the 1, 2, 3. And Kasper Stuka clearly has his eyes on the second step of the podium. This is great news for Taylor Barnard, because if Nikita Bedrin has to start driving defensively, which is exactly what he's doing now, that allows Taylor Barnard to stretch his legs at the front and open up that gap once more. It was 1.5 seconds last time across the line, and I reckon it's going to be more than that when they cross the line this time. Out of turn 12 they come, onto the tri-oval. Being careful of that very solid concrete wall, keeping well clear of that. Right, they cross the line. Let's see what the gap is. And now Barnard, 1.8, so he continues to open up that gap. And now Nikita Bedrin is driving with his mirrors, with Kasper Stuka monstering him and following his every move. Then a gap back to Rasmus Utsimies, who's closely followed by Jonas Reed, Valentine Kloos, and David Bernbakti, and Samir Ben also in there as well. So there's your 1, 2, 3. Out of turn 5 and into turn 6, and just a little bit of a belt along the tri-oval. A wonderful bit of track. Walked around it last night, and just very sad we don't see more oval racing, well, on the big ovals anyway, particularly here in Germany at the Lausitzring. A superb facility. Not used enough by my reckoning. Now there's a car in the background who looked to be going wide. Didn't see anybody leaving the track. But we're watching Rasmus Utsimies and Jonas Reed. Jonas Reed is just turning the heat up because Valentine Kloos is behind him. Now looking to the inside, and Jonas Reed starting to challenge. Rasmus Utsimies needs to finish this race. He needs the points, because with Rafael Camara not here this weekend, he has the opportunity to get to the top of the Rookie Championship. Across the line, they come once more. Our leader, Taylor Barnard, he's opened it up to 2.4, but the battle for second is now raging on. Nikita Bedrin fighting off Kasper Stuka, and a lovely slide by Kasper Stuka into turn 1. The back end sliding out. It's not the quickest way round there, but it's very entertaining. We've had drifting here this weekend as part of the ADAC Family Festival, and that's actually been on that corner as well, but this is not the quickest way in ADAC Formula 4. It is race 14 of an 18-race season for the ADAC Formula 4. And after this, the final round at the Nürburgring. So every point counts, and Taylor Barnard needs a win. He needs it very, very urgently. He needs to make hay while the sun shines, and with Andrea Kimi Antonelli and the entire Prema team elsewhere this weekend, this is his great opportunity. This fight continues to rage on. So Rasmus Utsimies appearing to be something of a cork in the bottle, with Jonas Reed and Valentine Kloos now starting to look a little impatient. And behind them, David Bernbakti is also closing in. He wants a bit of the action as well. So Rasmus Utsimies is going to have to do all that he can in the last 10 minutes of this race to keep those cars behind. Barnard has opened up the gap, 3.2 seconds. He is on another level today. Right, a challenge now to Rasmus Utsimies. To the inside goes Jonas Reed. Utsimies, to his credit, knowing that this is not a battle that he needs to fight today. One of his main challenges in the Rookie Championship is the car that's now behind him. That is Valentine Kloos, but I think Kloos is mathematically probably not in the running of the rookie title. Utsimies needs to bring it home and score points, and that is his priority. and letting Jonas Reed to go past without too much of a fight. Actually, some very wise driving from Rasmus Utsimies, and Jonas Reed now up into that 4th place. We look again into turn 1. Jonas Reed just sees that gap on the inside and he is through. And Valentine Kloos very nearly following through on his shirt tails. So Taylor Barnard still very much in control of this race. Nikita Bedrin still very much under pressure from Kasper Stuka. And then it is Jonas Reed in the number 41 car ahead of Rasmus Utsimies and Valentine Kloos. And Nan-David Birenbakti, he's been an entertainer in the short time that he's been in Formula 4. And he is going to be on the back bumper of Rasmus Utsimies before too long. Across the line we come. Here is Valentine Kloos. So he moves to the inside under braking. Into turn 1. Again, Utsimies not putting up too much of a fight, but he does now come back into turn 2. Valentine Kloos shuts the door. Says, I'll be having that, thank you very much. And Rasmus Utsimies is relegated another place and into the clutches of Nan-David Birenbakti. Behind them, Zach David making a very solid debut in ADAC Formel 4 Germany. Samir Ben, Riki Lee, and of course we've lost Michael Sauter after that incident. 7 3/4 minutes remaining. It's all to play for still here, isn't it? There's the leader, and there is 2nd and 3rd running very much together. Nikita Bedrin not showing the sort of pace he did yesterday. He really enjoyed the slippery, wet conditions of race 1 yesterday. Today, not quite having the legs as he continues to fend off Kasper Stuka. Jonas Reed up into that 4th place and Rasmus Utsimies in 5th. So this is the fight that occupies us. Our leader, Taylor Barnard, well clear at the moment. It was 3.1 seconds the last time they crossed the start-finish line. Now, Nikita Bedrin coming under pressure from Kasper Stuka. Stuka has a little look to the outside. And still, Nikita Bedrin holding on. He is a driver who is not scared to get his elbows out to defend a position. In his 2nd year of ADAC Formula 4 Germany. And Kasper Stuka, this is his 1st year in ADAC Formula 4 Germany. And again, Kasper running for Us Racing, the team that's run by Gerhard Ungar and Ralf Schumacher. They know talent when they see it, real talent spotters. And if a driver is in an Us Racing seat, you know they are good. And Kasper Stuka certainly proving his worth as he challenges Nikita Bedrin for the 2nd step of the podium. This, of course, is Christmas for Taylor Barnard, the English driver, continuing to pull away at the front. Taylor Barnard looking for what will be his potentially 3rd win of the season if he can bring it home where it is. And more importantly to him, a big haul of points as he closes in on Antonelli's championship lead. Across the start-finish line they come again. And let's have a look at the gap. It was just over 3 seconds last time, and it is still just over 3 seconds. Right, this challenge for 2nd place still rages on. Get the feeling this is going to carry on for the next 5 minutes. It is Nikita Bedrin from Kasper Stuka. And this just allows Taylor Barnard to open up that gap at the front and then just maintain a gap. And a 3-second gap is a nice, healthy distance. He's not taking too much out of the car. He's not putting too much pressure on himself, but he's clear enough of this fight for 2nd place. Let him get on with it, he says. And I will take the top step of the podium if I can possibly do that. Into the last 5 minutes of this race. Race 2 of the weekend. One more still to come. At the moment, for the reverse grid race, if things stay as they are, it will be Zach David. And that will be a baptism of fire on his debut in ADAC Formula 4. But he is currently in 8th place. And if things stay as they are, the outside front row for race 3 will be Nan-David Birenbakti. The reverse grid principle that is used in Formula 4, a great way of getting drivers to experience driving in traffic. And if Taylor Barnard does go on to win this race, then he will start in 8th position with Nikita Bedrin in 7th. But we've still got another 4 minutes of this race remaining before that is decided. And Valentine Kloos has caught up with Jonas Reed and is now pressuring him. The two PHM cars fighting for position, being very careful not to take each other out. That would be awkward over lunch, wouldn't it? But good, clean racing from these young drivers, the stars of tomorrow, showing what they're worth here at the Lausitzring. And Valentine Kloos is a driver who is being watched for several years now as he comes up through the ranks, tipped to be a real superstar of the future. He's the current ADAC Kart Masters champion and has taken to Formula 4 as we expected him to, like a duck to water. Samir Ben in the number 25 car, and there is the number 24 car of Rasmus Utsimi's with Nandavid Birnbakti still pressuring him. So Rasmus Utsimi's in 6th place, and he is 2nd in the rookie standings within this race. So Valentine Kloos, having made his way past now the leading rookie, Rasmus Utsimi's 2nd in the rookie category, and Nandavid Birnbakti 3rd. Right, challenge for position here to the inside of Jonas Reed. It goes Valentine Kloos. We said he was good, didn't we? So Valentine Kloos hanging it out, and he's driving with great maturity. It's Valentine Kloos who moves up into 4th place. Great stuff from Valentine Kloos. He's worked his way up from towards the back of the grid and is now up into 4th place. So Valentine Kloos continuing his march forwards, but with just 2 minutes of this race remaining, he is going to struggle to catch Kasper Stuka and get himself on the podium. Valentine Kloos, who had a dreadful day yesterday, mechanical issues that they could not solve, robbing him of a race finish, and eventually they did sort it overnight. As we look again at this move, ducking to the outside into turn 1, then cutting back to the inside, and that is a great move. This is the move we're talking about between Jonas Reed and Valentine Kloos, not the previous one we were looking at. So turn 1 providing lots of entertainment and lots of action. Right, this is the battle now for 2nd place. It's Nikita Bedrin and Kasper Stuka running side by side in towards turn 1. And it looks like Stuka has found a route past. Is Nikita Bedrin going to come back at him? He tries, he's glued to the rear wing, but it's Kasper Stuka with a minute of the race remaining. We're into the final lap. Kasper Stuka, who sneaks into 2nd place. Nikita Bedrin is going to struggle to get back past Kasper Stuka unless he can force him into a mistake in the closing stages of this lap. He's trying to do that. He looks to the inside. Kasper Stuka holding on to the 2nd place. And Nikita Bedrin, having been in 2nd for so long, is now relegated to 3rd place. In the meantime, Taylor Barnard is heading up towards the last series of corners. You see him there at the bottom of your screen. He's just flashed through. Then it's Kasper Stuka. Then Nikita Bedrin. Great drive from Kasper Stuka as he comes through into that 2nd place and now breaks clear of Nikita Bedrin. And he must be wondering what he might have done had he got past sooner, because he might have done something about the giant lead that Taylor Barnard built up. It was a lead that he held from beginning to end. It's going to be a lights to flag victory for the number 77 car, Taylor Barnard from the UK, for PHM Racing, winning race 14 of the season, race 2 of the weekend. 2nd across the line, Kasper Stuka. 3rd, Nikita Bedrin. 4th, it's going to be Valentine Kloos with the drive of the race ahead of Jonas Reed. Rasmus Utsimi's, who is 2nd in category in the Rookie Championship. And then Nandavid Birnbakti, Zach David, Ricky Lee, Samir Ben coming home in 10th place. And it will be Zach David then, who starts on a pole position for race 3, which will come later on this afternoon. But Taylor Barnard stealing the headlines. Here's another look of that move for second place. Kasper Stuka to the inside of Nikita Bedrin. Along the pit straight they came, and Bedrin tried to give him a bit of a squeeze, but that's about as much as he can do. Then ducks out to the outside to try and get a wider run into turn 1. But Kasper Stuka is through. Bedrin carrying a lot of speed, but not enough to find a route past. It is the checkered flag, though, for Taylor Barnard, who takes the win. Rest of the field came through, and it was a good, solid drive from these young pilots. And I think drive of the race, Valentine Kloos up into P4, and Taylor Barnard, well, he just disappeared from the front. He had that safety car to cope with midway through. It did nothing to faze him, eventually winning by nearly 4.5 seconds from Kasper Stuka, ahead of Nikita Bedrin, Valentine Kloos, Jonas Reed, Rasmus Utsimies, and David Birnbachti, and Zach David finishing in 8th place. Ricky Lee was in 9th ahead of Samir Ben. I'm sure we'll get confirmation of that shortly. And it was Mikael Sauter who had that incident which saw him into the fence and a non-finisher. Hopefully they can get that together and he will be back out for race 3 of the weekend, which takes place, may I remind you again, at 15:35 local time. If you're watching in the UK, that will be 14:35. And Taylor Barnard UK fans will be delighted with that. More points. That's exactly what they said, because Taylor Barnard is mathematically the only driver who can catch Andrea Kimi Antonelli at the top of the standings. This weekend is a great opportunity for him to reel in the current points leader.
Don't let him go to the wall. Close the inside as much.
Always listening in. That's what we try to do. Yeah. So, congratulations all around. Kasper Stuka, great move into second place. Nikita Bedrin will be frustrated. He held on for so long to that second place, finally losing it. But there is Taylor Barnard. And there is the points situation. So you can see 59 points in it. So it really is very close. Well, it will be if Barnard can do it all again this afternoon. 59 points, and there are still 100 points available this season. But may I repeat to myself, with Andrea Kimi Antonelli not here, it is all for Taylor Barnard to score.
Okay, thank you.
So the rest of the classification scrolling through. And the focus in this afternoon's race will be from that man there who starts 8th on the grid. The problem is, if he wants to pick up the maximum 25 points, he will have to pass the likes of Nikita Bedrin, Kasper Stuka, and Valentine Kloos. No mean feat. There is Nikita Bedrin, who finishes in 3rd place, yesterday's winner. 2nd, going to Kasper Stuka. Great to have us racing here this weekend. But the winner for PHM Racing, it's a 1-3 for PHM. Top step going to the number 77 of Taylor Barnard. So with the skies brightening up, we are optimistic that it's going to stay dry all day. And I think Taylor Barnard will be pleased about that. He wasn't especially happy in the slippery conditions yesterday. I should think Nikita Bedrin might be doing a rain dance between now and race 3 this afternoon. As we look down the pit straight here at the Lausitzring, we're just waiting for the drivers to make their way to the podium. Great perspective of the giant grandstand. There's a pretty big crowd here today. You wouldn't believe it looking at that. It is just such a big facility. The wonderful tri-oval of the Lausitzring and the great course that we use that incorporates part of it. So from here, we have quite a big break. Our next round is the 14th to the 16th of October at the legendary Nürburgring. And that is where the championship will be decided. Taylor Barnard, of course, cannot pass Antonelli in the championship today, but he can close right on up. If he can get a good score in race 3, this will be critical. And race 3, he is going to be pushing as hard as he possibly can. So we look on at Nikita Bedrin, who's not looking especially delighted with his 3rd place. As his teammate utterly dominates that particular race. We wait on just for the drivers to appear on the podium, and yes, indeed, Taylor Barnard for PHM. A name that we will be talking about for many years to come. Of that, there is no doubt. One of the real rising stars in open wheel racing. And when you look at the likes of Théo Pourchaire at the moment, currently knocking on the door of a Formula 1 seat. And of course, he was the 2019 champion in ADAC Formel 4. We look at Johnny Edgar. And we look at Oliver Biermann. All previous champions in ADAC Formula 4, all making their way up the ladder now in open wheel racing. Not just open wheel racing, number of drivers in GT racing. We've been watching Marvin Dienst doing really well in GT Masters this weekend. Of course, he was a previous champion in the ADAC Formula 4 series. We even had the likes of Lando Norris, who came through the ADAC ranks as well. So a great training ground for these young drivers, and the likes of Taylor Barnard, Kasper Stuka, Nikita Bedrin, and especially Kloos as well, Valentine Kloos, drivers that will be appearing in the more senior formulas as the years progress. So just that gap as we wait, and the pit lane is open to many spectators here who get to be up close and personal with the cars and the drivers here at the Lausitzring, part of the ADAC Family Festival this weekend, which has been a real festival, not just of motorsport, but of just being family, everything from face painting to drifting and everything in between. A bit of a gap as we're just waiting for this podium presentation. And then hopefully we can bring you the 1, 2, 3 before we go off air. The driver that won the rookie race was Valentine Kloos. He finished 4th on the road. Rasmus Utsimies was 2nd, and David Bernbachti was 3rd. Those are the cars in the pit lane. Right, here we go. Clearly someone had to stop for a bathroom break on the way up, but now we are here. So, Nikita Bedrin, not looking especially ecstatic with a 3rd place, but he was out of the championship hunt before this race started. 2nd, Kasper Stuka, and taking the top step for the 3rd time this year, it's Taylor Barnard. Valentine Kloos, the highest finishing rookie, also gets a trophy for his trouble. And a representative from PHM, their trophy cabinet is growing by the second. And now we await the national anthem. Four absolute superstars in Formula 4. Four drivers that you will be seeing plenty of for years to come. First place trophy is awarded. And that's the second, Kasper Stuka. Nikita Bedrin, almost a veteran of Formula 4, will no doubt be moving up to something else next year, I would have no doubt. And Valentine Kloos, a driver, expect to see him next year back in Formula 4. And PHM, the team that came from the remnants of Muka Motorsport and are proving to be a force to be reckoned with in the ADAC Formula 4 Germany. The drivers pose for photos. We will go and freshen up because we will be back at 15:35 local time, 14:35 if you're watching in the UK. It will be race 3 of the weekend, race 15 of an 18-race season. The penultimate round of this 2022 season. There are just 2 drivers in the championship. There is Andrea Kimi Antonelli and there is Taylor Barnard.